Shut it back. Words of a faint, something like a bat. Well, I want your love, call me when you can. Girl, going up, going up.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over our Cliffhanger team, and if you remember, we decided we wanted to use a 0-point team for our cups, just to show that you don't always need to use the best Pokemon to beat the best Pokemon. Cliffhanger is a little different from this, just because your opponents are not going to be using all of the top tier Pokemon. They are also limited, so this was definitely a good way to balance everything out. Now, I think that in this league, you'll notice a lot of our best Pokemon are the flyers, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know, you don't have to hang by a cliff if you can fly, right? So anyways, besides the flyers, I think Bayleaf was actually just the diamond in the rough Pokemon. I can't believe we found Bayleaf, and Bayleaf did really well for us as that Razor Leaf user that also has the anti-flying coverage. And Aggron acted as our tank, and then Marshtomp as our anti-tank. So here we go in game one. We're going up against Paperman 97. We're going in with Togekiss, Marshtomp, and Golbat, and he starts out with Togekiss as well. So we're just going to auto attack down and then try to go for the undertap into the Ancient Power, because if we go for the undertap, we'll be able to actually get that move off before him, which may not give us a lot health-wise, but we do get the switch advantage, which is really good. Now, he does bring in Deoxys Defense, so the only way we can beat this is with Golbat and shield baiting, because if we just go straight up, the rock slides will eventually take us out. So we make sure we get enough energy to get up to the Shadow Ball there, and we throw out the Poison Fang, and we do end up getting the shield, and we're gonna have to shield every time because Marshtomp is actually not very good against Deoxys Defense in general. So for the second time, we decide to go for the Shadow Ball because in my mind he's so low right now that I think even if we get to a Poison Fang later, it should be fine with all of the auto attacks that happened in the middle of that energy gain. So we do take a rock slide, but we do make it to the Poison Fang, and we're going to be able to take out this Deoxys Defense. And the last Pokemon that he had was Typhlosion, so we're going to throw out the last of our energy that we have on Golbat, and then we're going to bring in the Marshtomp just to take out this Typhlosion, since everything Marshtomp does is going to be super effective, and he's going to be taking double resisted damage against fire. So we picked a really good team there in game one, and we decided that this team of three is actually really good against Paperman in general. So we're going to run it again, but we decided to switch up the leads. Now, he did start off Deoxys Defense, so I decided I need to get Marshtomp out of there because I'm going to need him later just in case there's a Muck or a Typhlosion or even the Swampert. And I bring in Togekiss. So a little bit of a different situation than the last game. Since we started Togekiss, since we are not starting Togekiss this game, we can safe swap into him, because as long as we use a shield, we're going to win most matchups. And since Deoxys Defense is a really hard matchup for us, we're just going to try to use up almost like a sacrifice of Togekiss to take out that Deoxys. Now, he does swap into Swampert, and I think we're going to go back into Marshtomp here since we're going into Golbat, and I think we're doing this because we want to gain an energy advantage, and we know that if we use one shield, we can probably get to 2 Poison Fangs just in case he uses a shield, and if he doesn't use a shield, I think this Poison Fang is going to take him out, even though I believe... Oh yeah, it's neutral, okay. So that actually didn't work out. He is able to get to the Hydro Cannon, but it's okay. We're going to just auto attack him down, and we have enough energy for a Poison Fang here. Or if he brings out Deoxys Defense, we'll go for the Shadow Ball. He actually does bring in Muck, and we do go for that Shadow Ball, and I think we're going to be looking to switch out into Marshtomp. Marshtomp's going to be taking resisted damage from that poison and going to be dealing super effective with the ground type. And with that Mud Bomb, we're able to take out the Alolan Marowak, Alolan Muck. And we're just going to be trying to throw out any moves we can against this Deoxys defense since he's so low, and we end up taking him out. So round 1 goes to us, and round 2 here we are going to take on 2 Fizzy, and we decide he doesn't really have the best anti-flyers. He does have Frostlass and Tyranitar, and I decided that Mantine had pretty good matchups against both of them, so if I just lead Mantine, I'll have an energy advantage against them if they swap back in. So against Frostlass here, we're going to be shielding the Avalanche. I believe it's neutral damage against us, but it is still going to be doing a lot of our HP percentage-wise. Looks like it does about 35-40%. And we're going to be throwing out the Aerial Ace here, and it looks like he's just matching us shield for shield, but his Avalanches are coming out a lot faster on the Frostlass. And does end up taking out our Mantine. So we're going to come in, I believe, with Togekiss, just because it's going to end up taking him out with the one shot. And he brings in Marshtomp, which is actually pretty decent against Togekiss. And we don't want to bring in Golbat because the poisons can be resisted by Marshtomp. So we just stay in here, and we're going to be using the Ancient Power, trying to go for the boost. We don't get it, but he does shield, and so we decide to match that shield since he's pretty low already. Charm's doing so much damage. I believe we just need 2 Charms here to take it out. Looks like we needed 3. And then we go into the last matchup here against Hitmonchan, which Togekiss is doing super effective damage with that Charm. And I believe he has Thunder Punch, which takes out our Togekiss, but we have Golbat in the back, and the wing attacks are going to be doing super effective damage against Hitmonchan as well. So I decided this team was really good. Like I said, like in the last round, we swapped the lead, and we get into a really good matchup right here against the Hitmonchan, and we're just going to be farming up a lot of energy and maybe try to throw out 2 Poison Fangs. And we know that he has Thunder Punch from the last game, so we're going to shield this attack. It took him a long time to get to it, so he was either baiting or he did make it to the attack. Luckily we call him on the right move there, and we take a shield and we throw out the second Poison Fang, and at this point it feels like he's a little committed because he's probably 1 or 2 attacks away from the Thunder Punch. It looks like he was 1 away. And we shield this, and I go for a slightly risky play just because of it was a power-up punch bait, and we try to auto-attack him down to have a lot of energy going into the next matchup, which is Frostlass. And with shields down against Frostlass, with Golbat, we're going to throw out the Shadow Ball because it's super effective and will one-shot Frostlass from full health. And then we get into the mirror match here, but we still have 2 Pokemon in the back, one of which is extremely good against Golbat in Mantine because it's going to be doing super effective damage with those Ice Beams. But none of that's really going to matter here. We are so far ahead on energy that we are able to get his Golbat down really low, and even though he's throwing out maybe a Shadow Ball here, we're just so far ahead that the Mantine's going to be able to auto-attack this Golbat down. And that's round 2, guys. Round 3 here against Daigul. His team's really good against our team. Actually, we really don't have any good matchups. We have to hope that the leads are in our favor. Mantine versus Hitmonchan is pretty close. He's also running Thunder Punch on his Hitmonchan. When I was running Hitmonchan, I also was using Thunder Punch. It's actually really good, especially since if you want to use it as an anti-flyer. Or he wouldn't be an anti-flyer, but, you know, tried to beat the thing that beats you. And he does hit us with that Thunder Punch because we don't want to use all our shields. And we get a switch glitch right there, and I can't throw out the Poison Fang. So I'm going to have to shield this move because we know it's Thunder Punch. But we're just going to keep farming it down, and we have enough for Shadow Ball. But I decide I'm going to go for 2 Poison Fangs because the poison is going to be super effective against Tropius. So this is a really good matchup for us. But we just have to get to the third Poison Fang, and then it'll take out the Tropius completely. And we will make it to it. Oh, we actually end up farming it down. That's really aggressive. I think I did that because I'm noticing now he does still have a shield, so we didn't want him to use his shield, and we thought he would get to within one attack away from using a charge move, so we didn't want to get charge moved there on a Golbat. And then we just so happened to be in a really lucky matchup here at the end with Marshtomp versus Bastiodon. Marshtomp is just a hard counter to Bastiodon in any world, and we have so much energy here. I'm just trying to get to the double mud bomb so that he can't just shield, and we can piggyback off of ourselves. But we actually mistimed it by one attack, but it's okay. We're, like I said, such a hard counter that it didn't matter. And I actually had forgot that he had a Hitmonchan in the back, but luckily I was really paying attention, so... Well, I paid attention at the end. Obviously, I didn't pay attention enough at the beginning to remember he had a Hitmonchan. So we literally just go exact same lineup, exact same order. And the reason I'm doing this is because I think that Mantine is my only good lead. So I'm just going to keep it in there. And this is what I was most afraid of on his team, was if he started Bastiodon. So our only counter to Bastiodon is Marshtomp. But I'm so reluctant to switch into that Marshtomp because I know it's going to get locked in against something else. So I decide to farm up really long on Mantine and then swap out, just so that when I lose Marshtomp inevitably to a non-counter, I'll still have Mantine in the back with an extreme amount of energy, hopefully enough to overcome the fact that my team is so weak against Bastiodon. So we pull a shield out here, and he does end up taking out Marshtomp. He's got a little bit of energy carried over, so I'm thinking, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to bring back in the Mantine, farm a little more after this wing attack. Oh, no, he lets it go. So I think we should have farmed a little more there and expended a shield just to have enough for 2 Ice Beams here against the Bastiodon. So we do have the shield advantage, which is really good for us because the only real move I have against Bastiodon with these last 2 Pokemon, Golbat and Mantine, is the Bubble of Mantine. And I don't know how many of those I'm actually going to be able to get off, just because Smackdown is doing so much damage to Mantine right now. And I decided I want to go for... I'd rather go for the double Aerial Ace to try to get the shield, even though it does way less damage to Bastiodon. And we do get that shield out. It has enough for a Stone Edge here, or a Flamethrower, probably a Stone Edge. But we do have, since we were up on that shield, and now we're going to go into the last match and just hope that Golbat is decent against it. And it is Tropius. We are at half-life, but we have enough energy for 2 Poison Fangs, which means we'll get it down to about a 1/3 HP. And then we'll have to hope that we don't die to the Aerial Ace, but I don't think we will, because Aerial Ace does about 25% of Golbat's health, and it looks like we're around 35-40% right now. So really, really close game, but we make it to the 3rd Poison Fang and take him out. So yeah, I think that we really did find the best version of a 0-point team. I played in another remote tournament as well. So this one only had 6 people join, because in our remote league we're moving on to our next set of lobbies. So not everyone is as invested anymore in the current lobby. So only 6 people signed up for this tournament, which is why we only went 3 rounds. And in my other remote tournament, similar thing. We started off as a small remote tournament and then joined a bigger one. So in the smaller one, there is less people still trying to do battles in there, but we're the only ones that have the 30-day friendship. So in that league, I believe only 4 people joined, and we actually won that one as well with this exact same team. I'm not sure if I'll post that video or not, just because it was only 2 rounds. Go ahead and let me know if you want to see that. The teams were a little more diverse than the teams up here, just because some people went for some really crazy themes that were actually really awesome. Yeah, go ahead and let me know on that. And if you want to catch the Sinister Cup battles coming up, probably in this next week or so, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you for watching.